Welcome to my channel. My name is Deanda, and today what I'm going to be doing is the back in the day teacher tag. This was started by Ruth from Diary of a Mad Black Teacher, and I just feel so YouTube official right now because I'm going to be reading the questions from my phone. That's what the YouTubers always say. They're like, yeah, I'm just going to be looking at my phone reading the questions, and I could never say that before because I was always recording on my phone. So if I ever did a tag, like I would have to look at the questions on my laptop, and who wants to say I'm just looking at the questions on my laptop, because that doesn't sound like, I don't know, a very YouTube thing to say. So anyway, here I am looking at the questions on my phone. And just thank God, guys. I have wanted a camera for at least a year because I've been doing YouTube. Coming up, August will be a year now, and things just kept happening and happening, and I wasn't able to get it, and here I am now. I finally have one. Thank you, God. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Back in the day teacher tag. Question number 1. What grade do you currently teach? Where did you go to primary, middle, and high school? Is it in the same district? So I currently teach 2nd grade at a private Christian school, and I went to primary school, middle school, and high school all in Germany. My dad was in the Air Force, and so we did move around quite a few times, really a couple times, well, maybe 3 times. We moved around a few times, but each time we had to PCS, it was somewhere else in Germany. So I went to Heinerberg Elementary School when we lived in Wiesbaden, Germany. Then we went to, my dad was stationed in Landstuhl, and I went to Landstuhl Middle School, I think it was. Man, I don't remember the name of my middle school. I think it was Landstuhl Middle School. And then for high school, we were in Ramstein, which is in the Rhineland-Pfalz area of Germany. And so I went to Ramstein American High School. Go Royals. Question number 2. Who were your most and least influential teachers? One of my most influential teachers was actually not in primary, middle, or high school. I would have to say probably Dr. Thyra Ansley, who was my reading instruction professor in college. And she just really was like very firm, very strict, and she really modeled for us how you should be as a teacher in the classroom. And so she was very strict, very firm, but also fair. And so she would always tell us about the 3 F's, like in the classroom you want to be firm, firm, fair, and flexible. And like she would have us do group presentations or individual presentations. And if you got up there and you were fumbling and stumbling and trying to fake it till you make it, she would say, thank you, you may have a seat. And like she would get up and take over the lesson. Like she had very high expectations of us, and she definitely left a lasting impression on me. And sorry if that doesn't go with the tag, because I know that was college, but she really was my most influential teacher. Another teacher who stands out was Mr. Don't remember his name, but in 8th grade, he was my first period math class, my first class of the day, and I was almost always late to his class, and I was constantly having detention to where like I couldn't even keep up with it anymore. So one day I just showed up and I was like, do I have detention today? And he was like, okay, clearly this isn't working, because it just wasn't working. And I'm a work in progress, still working on being on time today. Number 3, who are your friends, frenemies, and rivals? My friend, I don't remember my friends from school in elementary school. I really don't remember friends in elementary school. I do know that like in elementary school, I went through a rough patch because I walked like this. You know, a normal way to walk is like this, like feet side by side, but I walked with my feet in, like pigeon, I think pigeon toe is what they call it. And the thing is, like from my hips, like when you look at the x-ray, my hips were turned in, like, and so it was turned in from the hips. So that's why I used to walk like that. And actually I experienced a miracle. God healed me, and when we went back, because they were getting ready to do surgery, we went back and looked at, they took x-rays again before the surgery, and my hips, like, it had turned out, and the doctors were scratching their head like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We don't understand. And so I ended up actually not having to go under surgery for them, because I think they were gonna like break it and then turn them out. And I was like, I'm gonna have to do physical therapy and all this stuff. And hello? People are trying to record. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, I was gonna have to do physical therapy and all this stuff. God healed my body, but the thing was, I still had to train my mind to walk like this because I was so used to walking like this. Long story short, I do remember like kids used to tease me and make fun of me in elementary school because of the way I walked. And I went home and I would be crying to my mom, and she told me the scripture from Psalm, I think it is 137 or 139, like, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so maybe that is why I don't really remember friends from elementary school. Like, I played with the kids who live in my apartment building. I was good friends with them. Ebony and Brianni were their names, and I was friends with, I'm sure I was friends with like the kids in my church, but I was really, really a shy, very, very, very quiet kid. So I don't know. In middle school, my friends were Jamie and Sharia, and they're both attorneys now. And Latasha, and Latasha and I, we're still friends today. Like, we still communicate on Facebook and that kind of thing. And in high school, who were your rivals? I didn't have any rivals. I was too quiet to like even have people, like, I don't know, people probably didn't even know that I was there. So I had no rivals. Number 4, what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school? My favorite subject has always been anything to do with English, language arts, composition, writing, reading. That was my thing. Least favorite was math. Hated math. And that started actually in the 2nd grade when we started doing that subtraction with regrouping, carry the 1, borrow the 2, like move it around. I just did not get it. I hate, and from that point on, like, I remember crying, trying to get my homework done with my mom. She's trying to explain it. I don't know what she's talking about. It was a mess, guys. I hated math. And to this day, like, math is still not my favorite thing. What advice would you give to yourself at that age? I would tell myself, like, it is just like, embrace who you are. It's okay to be you, and don't care so much about what other people think. And like, that advice is still good to this day, because to a certain extent, like, I am a people pleaser, and kind of to a certain extent, like, I give too much thought to what other people think about me at times. So it's not great, but that is what it is. Number 5, I just did number 5. Number 6, what was your personality like at this age, and has your personality changed? My personality is still basically the same. The difference is, though, that I'm more comfortable now in my own skin. I'm more comfortable with who I am. And so at that age, like elementary, middle, high school, I was very shy, extremely quiet. Like, I didn't like talking to other people. I didn't even like to go outside and play, really. I just stayed inside and read books and books and more books. And I remember at one point telling my mom, like, I want to be a librarian so I can read all the books. And the doctor told my mom, like, hey, your child doesn't really have any muscle tone at all. Please make her go outside and play. But I was just very quiet, very, very shy. And I think, looking back at it, like, it may have given me like anxiety, like just being around other people and having to be in social situations. Number 7, what profession did you want to be at that age? So I think I mentioned in elementary school, like saying I wanted to be a librarian so I could read all the books. But starting in middle school, probably, I think is when I really wanted to be a teacher, and I begged my mom to like let me get a chalkboard, because around middle school is the time that I realized, flipping through magazines, I used to always read my mom's like Women's Day magazines, and I saw an ad in there for chalkboard paint, and I was like, wow, you can paint the walls with like, to make them a chalkboard. But I knew that because we lived on base housing, that was a no-go. Like, you had to stick with the white walls. You couldn't really paint in base housing. So I was like, Mom, can you please get me a chalkboard? And when she finally got me one, it was like a huge, like a regular classroom-sized chalkboard. And I got chalk, and it was in my room, and it was just, I was in heaven with my little chalkboard. Did you want to go to college? Of course I wanted to go to college. I loved school. Like, that is one thing that has never changed. I've always loved school. I've always loved learning. I loved the books, the pencils, the supplies, the smell of books and paper, and I've just always loved school. And so not going to college was never even a thought for me. 8, what is something you wish you knew then that you know now? One thing I wish I knew is that it all counts. Like, my middle school, I actually went to middle school for the 6th grade. I went to Landstuhl Middle School, but then for 8th grade, I was in 7th and 8th grade, I went to a junior high. Actually, 7th, 8th, and 9th was junior high. In 9th grade, I didn't know about this GPA thing and scores and getting into college and all that stuff. I'm just like being the student that I am. And if I knew in the 9th grade about GPAs and how every single class counts, then I probably would have put forth more effort and done better, but I didn't know. Number 9, describe the picture thumbnail you chose. Okay, here's the thing. I got the questions from Facebook Messenger from Ruth, and I didn't even really read over them until like right now. It's my first time really reading them, and so I didn't choose a thumbnail picture. Let me go grab my baby photo album. Got it. Okay. Let's see. Is this thing upside down? Okay, so actually I'm not going to use any of these pictures. I think I might end up going with a picture from middle school. And number 10, if you had a student like yourself at this age, how would you reach out and connect to them? I think that what I would do is, what I do with all of my students anyway, try to just get to know that student, or not try, but really get to know that student, find out what are their likes, what are their interests, what do they do when they're at home, or something I really like to do, especially if a student has siblings or cousins at the same school, is just kind of sit back and observe how they are when they're around, like really in their comfort zone, around their family or just their good friends. Because thinking of myself at that age, like that is when I would really just let my hair down and be fully myself without having this kind of guard up. And so I think that just gives like more of a glimpse into who a person is, like being able to see them in their, like when they're really in their comfort zone. So, but for the most part, I know that's not always possible. There's some students who have no siblings, and so really just getting to know that student, spending time with them. We have to eat lunch with our students, and so sometimes instead of sitting with the teachers, I will like just sit with my students and chat with them and just see what's going on with them. And I think when you do that consistently, like you're consistently present, consistently showing your care and concern to a student, that lets them know how much you really care for and about them. So that's what I would do. Thank you all so much for watching. This is my rendition of the Back in the Day teacher tag. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a comment down below or do the tag on your own, and you can leave your link in the comments if you'd like me to check it out. And be sure to look for the other teachers who have done the Back in the Day teacher tag. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that now so that you won't miss out on any videos that I do in the future. And hit the little bell for notifications. That way you really won't miss any videos because you'll be notified. And thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next video.